next child is expected very soon. I'm hoping we produce another boy. It is very important we have a spare heir. You know how it is, George, so...
We are having trouble with our youngest daughter, Mary. She is very ill. I'm lucky that my two boys can change her.
He'll take roosting birds occasionally, but essentially what he wants to find is voles and mice. And by quartering the countryside, he's obviously covering a big area. And something else that's really interesting is that he's not just using that excellent night vision that he has. He's got fantastic hearing, and that rule applies to all owls. They've all got really good hearing, but the barn owls is amazing, much better than Ernie's, for instance. This is the reason that he has such a specific loophole shape on the front of his face. That's called his facial disc. Now it makes him look very pretty, but that's not the reason that it's there. It's there to channel the sound into that specific area. It's obviously then picked up by his ears, and the ears are where you would expect them to be. They're at the sides of his eyes. But because one of his ears is actually higher up than the other one, he gets two completely independent readings from the exact whereabouts of a vole. So honestly, let's say we're sitting atop this hedgerow here, and about where the box is, the arena box, let's say that was a big area covered in leaf litter, and there was a mouse or something underneath there. As long as it was a still enough evening, he will be able to hear it from the top of there, even if he can't see it. But not only that, he will be able to secure that as well. He will be able to catch it using his feet. That's how good his hearing is. And I'm not talking about Oscar as an individual. He's never caught anything, except for a few leaves, mind, that were blowing around in his first autumn when I first trained him. But obviously wild birds, that's what they have to do. But Oscar does a great job here, and certainly being able to fly him so close to you all, I get a lot of pleasure out of it also, but I know you must really enjoy to see him. And many people have seen a barn owl in the wild, but it's often just a flash of light in the car headlights. What you don't get to see is all those beautiful markings that he has. You can see the darker colours as he's flying, so over the back of his head, down all of his back, and the first half of his wings as he's going out. So I'll cut it now, and I'll just walk him down the line of you guys a little bit. So please don't try and touch him, he's not a pet, remember, but the markings really are absolutely stunning on him. He was trained in exactly the same fashion as Ernie, doing all of the straight line work, flying from post to post, getting used to everybody. Then I started asking him to take off and fly around in a circle. Then I could start getting him to do 2 circles, and then pretty much it was a case of just letting him go, and I just let him fly now, and let him do pretty much what he wants. It's very important not to push him too hard. You have to remember, this is sort of playtime for the birds. They're having to work, and when he's flying, especially when he's having to keep flapping these wings, that's when he's using up his energy. So, you know, when it's difficult for him to fly, then I don't push him just as much. But he loves it, he loves his dinner, and that's all he's interested in, getting as much food as he possibly can do. At the moment, he's doing a great job, but he can be a little bit random, can our Oscar. And what I mean by that is he occasionally just decides that he's not going to bother doing the show anymore, and he just thinks, actually, I'm out of here. I worry about it when he goes down on the pageant field. We've got sparrowhawks, carrion crows, magpies, pretty nasty characters. Obviously, like everything. They're just trying to make a meal, make a living for themselves. But I don't want them to make a meal out of Oscar. So when he goes off that way, I've got to go and get him back under control. But quite often he goes over into the central courtyard, and I'll never forget. Not the Christmas just gone, the one before, he disappeared into the courtyard. I'm rabbiting away for about 2 minutes, expecting him to come back, and he just didn't. So I had to end the show. I've got into the courtyard, no sign of him at all. But I was ever so grateful when a young man shouted, "Have you lost a bird?" And so I said, "Yes." So he's in here. And I'm like, "In the Great Hall?" He said, yeah, he's in here, look, I'll show you. And as I've gone in, Oscar is about 2/3 of the way up the huge Christmas tree that we have. It's about a 25-foot Christmas tree. He's just sitting up there. So he's actually flown in when somebody's been walking in, obviously. So it's just the way that he is from time to time. But he's playing quite short. Have you noticed that his circuits have just gone a lot smaller than they were at the beginning? This is because in his mind, he's been out for a certain amount of time. He's consumed a certain amount of food, and he's thinking to himself, it's about time that we're going to get the big bit. This is what he's waiting for, the big piece of food, and he loves it. It's without doubt his favourite part of the show. So, just keep going a bit more for me, just keep going. I'm going to send you off out here, okay? Just go out that way. Now, if I can stand here, because he's spotted me straight away. Sometimes he can't work out exactly where I am, but anyway, I don't think we're going to get much more from him. So, right, did a big piece of food now. Now he gets really excited about this. Right, there we go. Right, it's a bit graphic. It's a 1-day-old cockerel chicken. I feed him these and I feed him mice. The other birds, they often get things like squirrels and rabbits and all kinds of different things. So I'm not apologising for what I feed him, I'm just letting you know it's a bit grim. But he loves it. And I kid you not, he's going to swallow that head first. It's all going to go down in one go. A hawk or a falcon is really going to struggle with this. And what they would do is pin the food down using the talons, and then they use that very short beak that they have to turn the food into smaller pieces. Owls, wherever possible, swallow the prey whole. And it can take sometimes a little bit of time for this to happen. I'm not convinced you've got this one. I think, yeah, maybe it's going down now. You know, in his first year, I used to do this with really quite small rats. But everyone got too grossed out by it. I had to stop doing it. I think it was the tail sticking out of one corner of his mouth that people just couldn't deal with. But the feet of the chicken seems to be perfectly acceptable. So I just tend to use those. And so that is just about as much time as we have for you. I hope you've enjoyed meeting Ernie. I know he was pretty rubbish, but I hope you enjoyed meeting him anyway. And I think Oscar has done a great job. So thanks very much for coming along and watching, everybody. And have a safe journey. Thank you.
Allora, volevo bellino.